Well, so the World Food Day brings together various people. It brings together farmers and experts. And some of the experts who are here includes the International Fund for Agricultural Development, and we're joined by the country director who will tell us a little bit about why is the world slowing down on the progress that it had made on reducing hunger.
Okay, first of all, I am from IFAD. IFAD is the International Fund for Agricultural Development. So we are the only UN agency with a mandate to work with rural communities on agricultural development. So for us, this is our business. The reason why the world is slowing down, it's simply about financing. If you look at what's happening in the world, even though Africa is hard hit in terms of climate change, we are the ones with the highest number of people in terms of food malnutrition. We are the ones faced with challenges with regards to climate change. We only receive about less than 1% of climate financing for our farmers. So that's the problem. The whole problem is about financing. We have done a lot of pilot programs, we've done a lot of innovations, but now the problem is how do you scale them up? And until you have financing, you can't scale them up. So the major issue really is about financing.
And financing is a word we've had a lot today. Everybody we're speaking to is talking about the lack of financing in the agriculture sector. And we know African countries are signatories to the Maputo Declaration. The African Union itself has the Agenda 2063. Yet our governments are not keeping true to this commitment to 10%. When you look at the progress of negotiations on the agriculture agenda item at the COP, it's still slowing down. So can we genuinely say that there is political will to ensure that food security is addressed?
There is political will. The fact that government is bringing in partners like IFAD, like WFP, like FAO, really speaks to the fact that there is political will. But also let us also speak to the truth of the whole situation. There are competing needs. There are emergencies that are not planned for. Nobody planned for COVID, and it came. There are things like droughts. Nobody planned for it, and it came. And so you have to move food, resources that was meant for agricultural productivity, to those emergencies. So those emergencies are the ones that are really dragging us behind. And that's why we are saying, instead of waiting for an emergency to happen, why not invest in farming now, ensuring that, for instance, we have things like trying to ensure that we harvest water during the rainy season. So when there is drought, we can support farmers to ensure that they have enough planting times. If you do 2-3 cropping season in a year, then you can boost productivity. So those are the things. There is political will, but they have competing needs. And that's where they're bringing us partners like IFAD, like FAO, like WFP to support the government.
So the theme for this year's World Food Day is right to food. And the bulk of African farmers are rural communities, rural farmers that you work with. Even in Kenya, about 70-80% of food production comes from those small-scale rural communities. The bulk of this labor is provided by women. These women don't have the access to this land. They don't own this land. They don't make the decisions for this land. Do you see this affecting food security in any way?
Of course. Of course it affects food security in every way. By the way, do you know that a few days back, it was the Day of the Rural Women? It did not receive the attention that it deserved, but that was a day allocated to rural women. Women are the backbone of the economy. If you don't support 50% of your population to make sure that they are involved in the productivity, that in itself is a problem. So when you look at the laws do not favor women. And we've been talking about this all the time. We have to ensure that they have access to land and all that. But more importantly, we also have to ensure that they have the assets. They have the assets to be able to get the resources from the banks. When you go to the bank, they ask for collateral. Women don't have that. So these are the things we should be working on. And we've been talking about this for years. But I think it's about time that we really, really now move from discussing to actions. Because when you look at the theme for this year, right to food, and it's enshrined in the Constitution. But how many times have we really referenced it in the Constitution? That's the question that I keep asking myself. When you speak to lawyers and they talk about political things, they are quick to mention the Constitution. Article this, article that. But let me ask you, do you know what article really is referencing right to food? We don't. So as partners, as a government, as communities, we need to ensure that our communities know that it's their right. It's their right to ensure that we provide the right seeds at the right time. If you provide a seed for a farmer in August, when she's supposed to be planting in June, you are breaching the Constitution. So, we need to discuss all those things in totality. So that, for me, is the issue. In as much as it's in the Constitution, we need to ensure that we know which article, we know which section, so we can reference it when we're advocating for our women.
Finally, still speaking about the rural women and the right to food, and actually rural communities in general, who are the bulk of the farmers. These communities, yes, they feed the continent, but they're barely able to feed themselves. Why is this?
Well, it's a communities because they need money to take care of their families. I mean, they need to sell the corn so that they can pay for school fees, so that they can pay for all those things. But there is some interesting discussion that you were just speaking with this year. You're talking about the land size of the communities. It's getting smaller. And this is one thing you cannot expand. There is no way Kenya will say, I need to now expand my land so that I have more space and all that. But what we can do is to support the farmers to have multiple cropping and also increase their productivity. You can have a 5-acre land, and if your productivity is low, somebody with a 1-acre land but can do 2-3 cropping season in a year and ensure that they have more productivity is better off than you. So to your question as to why they feed the world yet they are food insecure, it's because they also have to balance the needs. They have to sell some of the food and then to take care of the school fees, to take care of the medical issues and all that. So in the end, they are left with little to eat. But if we boost productivity and we make sure that they do the farming as a business, then they should be able to sell and still have enough to eat.
Thank you very much. You catch up with us, yes. Thank you so much, and it's always great catching up with you. Yes. So the day continues, and we're just going to move on to another exhibition over here. Actually, this is one of my favorite exhibitions here, where they have these pits, such as this one here, where they are putting vegetable in and growing maize. The farmer digs a hole. And this hole has specific specifications on the depth, the length, the depth and the circumference. And in that hole, you mix the soil with the manure, and that's where you plant the seeds. And the seeds vary from number to number, depending on depending on the size of the hole. So this, what it does is that it holds the water for longer, and if it holds the water for longer, then the crop is able to be this healthy. Now just look at how beautiful that skuma looks. It's like you just want to start eating it right now. But one of the reasons we're here is you're here to speak to someone else. Please excuse me one moment. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To an expert to tell us a little bit more about this vegetable and why it looks so leafy and why anything close to that beautiful. But in the meantime, we're just going to cross over to this exhibit. I'm very well. This is the Deputy Country Director of World Food Program, Mr. Sanko, who is also here at the World Food Day. So, tell me a little bit about what you're seeing right now.
What we're doing here is basically promoting what we call the sweet potatoes. These potatoes is really, really nutritious. It grows very fast. It's drought resistant, and it's locally grown. Yeah, and what we're trying to do is how we can promote this at larger scale to ensure that we can link these smallholder farmers to schools, because we all know that the school creates a market. But at the same time, the reason why smallholder farmers don't produce is because they're excess, they don't have a market. And at the same time, we also know that the kids, they need to eat fresh food. And so this is like a 50-50% gain, wherein the farmers are able to grow crops which are fast, and they're able to sell their excess in the market. The kids, on the other hand, enjoy a fresh meal in school. So it's really what a great way of supporting smallholder farmers, and what a great way of ensuring that the kids have a great, healthy and safety meal in schools.
It's interesting that you're targeting children, and here in Kenya, it's always said that potatoes are a poor man's food. This particular sweet potatoes particularly are a poor man's food, and as such we don't really eat them in our homes. You'll find only the rural communities eating them, and in fact they'll even ask you, are you starving, are you poor, do you have no money to buy some meat or something else? So as you're targeting these children, how are you changing this perception?
Yeah. What we're currently doing, we're working with the private sector. We're working that is basically a grassroots organization. They are going in, talking to the communities, talking to the farmers to understand that what is important in the sweet potatoes, what minerals, what advantages can you get. I can give you a typical example. My country, who I am today, we actually don't only eat the tubers, but we actually eat the leaves.
Which country is that?
From Sierra Leone. We also eat the leaves, and across West Africa, it's well known that potatoes are one of the most nutritious food. So what we're bringing in now is, how do we change those mindsets? And by changing this mindset, what? We need to get to the grassroots. But it's not just about saying you have to eat potatoes. It's about going through ensuring that they understand why they should be eating potatoes. What is the nutritional value that is in potatoes? Once they're able to understand it, then people can grow in slowly. And what we've done is also, we have a program that we call PDAT. PDAT is wherein we have community leaders within the health sector. They go out there, they sit together and look at what are their issues. Why are children in some households nourished while others are not malnourished? And we have those discussions. We start looking at what are they doing in those households that others are not doing. Then based on that, we develop a local pattern of what they can consume to ensure that they're able to nourish their kids.
So listening to you say that in your country you also eat the leaves, one of the things I'm picking up is that food security, the definition of, one of the problems with food security is the definition of food itself. That what one community considers food, another community does not.
You rightly said it. What we require as food security is about perceptions. It's about culture. And I think that's why we as WFP and the government come in, to be able to bring lessons learned from other countries. Food in one country, it's different. And even in Kenya, you can go to some countries, they're not eating a specific amount of food. But I think the Earth World Food Program and other key stakeholders in the food security market, including the government, in how to help our own people to understand that you should not be looking food based on your culture. You should be looking food based on the nutritional value that it brings to you.
So, one of the key things about the displays here today and the conversations here today is conservation agriculture, smart agriculture, sustainable farming, sustainable food production. What is smart about these potatoes?
What is smart about these potatoes is it's not about how many acreages that you have. It's about how you grow it in a small space of land, and you are able to feed your own family. Previously, other potatoes, you might require 2 acres of land to grow for your own family. But with this, because it's local, it's locally produced, the soil really meets its own needs. You just need a small space of land to actually grow for yourself in a house.
The way potatoes are usually grown, I don't know if maybe I can join you in there for a moment. The way potatoes, what's the word? Banded together? The same still apply when you're growing this?
The same similar approach goes with the same similar approach that you used to grow the old way. It's the same similar approach. What is different here is the type of potatoes we are using, the variety that we are using, the variety. Have. But in terms of using manure, in terms of preparing the soil, that's a bit different. We're really engaging with the Ministry of Agriculture, we're engaging with the local agricultural council, and we're also engaging with the private sector to bring in that skill to ensure that we grow the sweet potatoes in an atmosphere wherein we can have the best out of it.
I see the mounds are
because what we're looking at, we're not looking at how high is the soil. What we're looking at, how to ensure that the tubers themselves are able to anchor in the soil and be even a lot of soil. But you don't require a lot of soil. You just need to ensure that the tubers, as they grow, there is a soil that is covering them. Also knowing that if the heaps are high, you require a lot of manure. This also helps us in saving the amount of manure that you actually use for the plants to grow. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanko. I'll allow you to not take up too much of your time. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm looking forward to eat some of it when it's harvest time. How long before it's harvested?
Well, basically, in the 3 months, you will have a good harvest. And what we're looking forward to in Kenya is how can we go beyond not just the tubers, but also the leaves, because they are very nutritious. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we are in Kaimosi in Nandi County, and I'm not here alone. My colleague Masharia is also here, and he's on the other side of this farm talking to farmers. Masharia, what are the farmers over there telling you?
Well, just as Zainab has put it clearly, we are at the exhibition side. Here we are seeing tons and hundreds of people streaming in from different places just to come in. Remember, key stakeholders in this entire event are farmers who mostly are at the bottom of the food chain as we mark the World Food Day. Because we are in County 0 number 029, that is Nandi County, definitely it is well known for tea growing. And as you can see, the display tents do not just have people who are displaying their inventions, who are displaying their innovations. We also have key stakeholders in terms of inventors, shareholders in different side over here. Also, we've seen a number of students all over coming all and about just to have a glimpse on what agriculture partakes in this entire country and just the globe in terms of the World Food Day. Standing next to me is one of our key organization and key stakeholders who have been key players in terms of, because you're in Nandi County, definitely. So you told me most farmers are doing tea farming, right? So maybe they'll just tell us in brief, starting with your name, what is the space of tea farming here in Nandi County and definitely all over Kenya?
Thank you so much. I'm Isaiah Kiget. I'm the group manager for Siret, Outgrowers Empowerment and Producer Tea Company. We have each Empowerment Tea Factory and Siret Tea Factory. And we collect leaf from around 20,000 tea growers within Nandi. Most of our growers in Nandi, the livelihood of most of the people in Nandi, they depend on tea. So we have the 2 tea factories, and we produce almost 10 million kilograms of black tea, which we sell, some locally, and most of it is exported. Over 90% goes out for exports.
So you've just mentioned about growers. That means there is space in your company for the bottom person in the whole food chain. Who are these growers, and that was the space in terms of your activities as a company?
Our company is unique because the same growers are not just growers. They are the owners of this company. They are the shareholders. They are the ones who pull the resources and bought Siret from a multinational company called Eastern Produce. So they bought Siret factory. After owning Siret factory, they pulled the resources again and constructed Kamarit this factory.
So just to interject, you keep saying they. Who are these they?
These are small-scale tea growers.
Okay, just to clarify also, we are marking the World Food Day. So definitely tea is not the only food on the chain. As the world is changing, everything is changing, climate action and all that. What is the space of other crops? Is it still within your chain or your organization or your growers to practice other activities?
Yes, we are educating our growers to diversify. In fact, we have established nurseries for avocado farms, which we are distributing the seedlings to our farmers to plant avocados. We are also ventured into coffee. We are doing coffee. We are also doing indigenous trees. This is to support the environment and also our farmers so that they can diversify and get more income streams.
So maybe approximately can tell us how many farmers have been involved in this, how many years of practicing this have you guys been carrying on this activity, and probably also tell us the space of value addition, because that has been a key point all over here. What is the space of value addition, not just in tea but in most of these products, keeping in mind that it is the farmer who should be benefiting more from value addition?
Farmers started small. They were supplying leaf to multinational companies. That was around 2006, 2009. Then they pulled resources 2009. By 2016, they had owned the Siret factory. Then by 2021, they had built their own factory. Now, the space of value addition, the lady I'm standing with is in charge of value addition in our company. And she is packing teas in small packages, which is affordable for the common man within. So it is our work. She packs in small quantities and distribute also to the farmers and other people who consume tea. So in fact, our vision is we do more of the value-added teas. We started and we are growing.
Now, since you're in Nandi County, maybe you can just tell us of the value, if you allow me just talk to her for a minute, of the value addition and the product chain. Tell us what is the benefit of the farmer? How are we helping the farmers to do the value addition rather than taking it to the processing level and the industry out there taking raw materials?
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry. Okay, thank you very much. We are helping farmers with value addition because first, they'll get access to their products. What they produce from the farm is what they'll consume finally. Another thing, we also have programs through value addition. We have partners whom through value addition we get support funds to do community projects. And in this case, again, when we get to the community projects through proceeds from these partners, the farmers or the community will benefit. When we build schools, we build dispensaries, like we have dispensaries funded by our donor and Siret OEP. We have schools, and then we have other projects that we do for the farmers, all through value addition.
Quite an extensive extension over here in terms of agroforestry, right from tea farming and all that. Maybe as we wind up, what are some of the key challenges you have faced in the tea farming industry? We are talking of Nandi County. Let's give it credit. What are some challenges you have faced? Environmental.
Environmentally, sometimes we have hail damage to the farms, which reduces production. And then on the other side, we have what is challenging us is the cost of production, especially energy, labor, and then the serious challenge which we face, the entire tea industry is facing currently, is the low prices of tea we are getting currently in Mombasa auction.
Thank you so much. So that was just all about tea, not just tea, but the extensive program in terms of how farmers are moving all the way to not just growing tea here in their homegrown, but shifting all the way to growing other products with assistance of such organizations and other companies. Well, Zainab, I know you're on the other side just to bring us a glimpse of what the exhibition centers have. I know there's a lot, but for now, back to you.
hutatoboa. Kwa hivyo ukiangalia miguu ya watu kuwa wamevaa gumboot. Sasa tumetoka shambani, tumekuja kuona a different kind of exhibition, a different maonyesho ya aina tofauti. Sasa ukitoa mimea kule shambani, what else do you do with it? What else do you do with it besides cooking? What else do you do with it? And that's the conversation we are going to have next. And I'm joined by a lovely lady. I'll allow her first to tell us her name and what
Culture Organization of the United Nations. I work in the youth program where I support youth to make a livelihood in agribusiness.
Agribusiness, youth in agribusiness. So the perception that young people have when it comes to the agriculture value chain is to get rich. They just want to get rich and quickly as possible. Do you get this when you work with these young people?
Yes, I do. You find that the nature of the youth is that they want to make quick money. They are not patient. Therefore, even when we are supporting them in the agriculture value chains, we have to choose value chains that are shorter in the time period, maybe 2-3 months, for them to be able to see money. Because if it takes longer time, then they switch off. Yeah.
So what's happening here is some of the things that the young people are doing.
Yeah. So we have young people showcasing what they do. This is a youth group that supports, that is involved in the honey value chain, and they also support young people to embrace agribusiness. They are also supporting them in smart agriculture. So that is what they do.
Is it okay if I ask one of them a question?
Please go ahead.
Mambo?
Poa sana.
Naitwa nani?
Naitwa Nathan Kikwai.
Nathan, kazi mnafanya wapi?
So our organization inaitwa SMAX Foundation. It stands for Smart Mechanized Agriculture and Climate Action for Humanity and Sustainability. So we work mainly in the arid and semi-arid lands, whereby it covers 27 counties out of the 47 counties. So our main aim is to champion young people to join farming, because we believe once the young people join farming, we are able to create employment in the agricultural sector and also be able to feed our nation so that we can become food secure. So we have several initiatives. One of them is on beekeeping, the whole value chain. So we train the young people on beekeeping, right from the art of apiculture, how to make beehives, and then we are also able to offtake the honey that they produce. Also, we are able to work with other 4K club students in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture and Water, whereby we are able to support them by setting up model farms in schools, because we find that the ministry enables them to have 4K clubs for the young people where they learn theory, but where do they learn the practical part? Because tunaamini ukulima ni kufanya, apart from just learning in the class. So we provide that avenue for learning.
Inasemekana vijana mnaogopa sana agriculture na kilimo kwa sababu mnaona ni kazi chafu.
Ni ukweli, ukulima ni kazi chafu, lakini sio kazi chafu, ni kazi ya maana. Kwa sababu what we want to do ni kwamba ukulima lazima ikuwe na faida ndio uweze kufanya ukulima. Vijana wengi wanataka kupata pesa mfukoni, lakini tukiona ile ukulima iko sahihi, sio guaranteed that you will get the money. So how do you go about it? We go now the climate smart agriculture way for you to be able to adapt to the effects of the climate change that are there. So you find that also capital is a big issue. So how do you solve the issue of capital? How do you solve the issue of land? How do you solve the issue of market? So now we want to showcase the success stories of the people in the farming, the challenges they have faced, and also how do they overcome them. So atuogopi, ni tunatafuta solution ndio tuweze kuingia katika ukulima.
Sawa sawa, asante sana.
Introducing a new range of Royco spices. An explosion of rich, authentic taste. Spicika na Royco, making those good meals great.
This is the comfort of a mom's hug. Nahi ni Molfix Spans comfort that feels just like a mom's hug. Babies play around and then, oops, Molfix ina absorb like whoop. Imagine, haiwezi live in 50 different movements. Makofi to both babies and Molfix. Renewed Molfix, ultimate quality.
Molfix is renewed. Improved Molfix quality, now in blue package.
Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu. Ay ay yeah. Kituka na shika yam yam yami na flow kama maji tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu moja tu ni tamu kama sali. Ni juicy. Flavors zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi sijali my bro. Hebu kama taka juicy ni juicy. Flavors zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi sijali my bro. Hebu kama taka juicy juni.
This is NTV.
Yajayo katika NTV Weekendi.
The applications for recusals are hereby disallowed.
Majaji wanaosikiza kesi ya naibu rais aliyetimuliwa Rigathi Gachagua wakataa kujiondoa. Maelfu ya Wakenya wafika katika jumba la KICC kuhojiwa kuhusu ajira zilizoko nchini Qatar.
Bado ukiona ile about 1,000 of people. Na gavana tu inasema ati tukuje tupewe. Imagine watu wanachukuliwa kama wawili. There's no need hata wangetuita.
So much was the anger over the killing of the deceased that the members of the community sought to lynch the accused, who had to be rescued from the mob justice by the police.
Bwana mmoja afungwa miaka 30 na mahakama ya Meru baada ya kupatikana na hatia mauaji. Na mahakama kuu yaizuia serikali ya Kenya kufanya mkataba uzalishaji kawi na kampuni ya Adani.
Herbal is formulated from a unique blend of natural herbs, scientifically proven to strengthen teeth and keep gums healthy. Try Colgate Herbal, scientifically proven for strong teeth and healthy gums. Choose natural. Choose Colgate Charcoal.
And this next display, this looks like black soldier flies.
Yeah, this is black soldier fly, youth that we were supporting in agribusiness. So they were basically involved in the livestock commercialization project where they farm BSF. BSF is used as animal feeds for pigs, chicken and fish. And they also get fertilizer that is called FRAS. And this young lady here makes around 50,000 shillings in profits. Yes.
This is per month?
Per month. Yes. Yes.
Habari yako?
Nzuri. Faith Amimo.
What do you do about the smell? Because you don't get this where there's where nothing is rotting, and where something is rotting, they smell. What do you do about the smell?
Well, basically there is no smell. There is no that bad smell because the black soldier flies, the larvae, they first feed on the bacteria that produces the smell. So there is no much smell. Yeah.
Na wewe ni kijana unafanya kazi ambayo unaweza sema ni kazi chafu kwa sababu lazima utafute uchafu ndio wao black soldier fly waweze kula and to make the fertilizer. How do you get involved in agriculture? Why did you get involved in agriculture?
Because we are trying to meet the SDGs, the Vision 2030 goals, and this is what we are doing, and also for the climate action and saving our environment as well.
So how many flies do you have?
You can't count the flies. Yeah, but there are many. Yeah.
So okay, maybe another question would be how much fertilizer do you generate?
At least 300 bags every 2 weeks.
And what do you do with all of it?
We sell some and some we use for our kitchen gardens. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you. So here, what is this?
So as FAO, we normally support the national government and county governments to develop strategies and policies. In this case, we've supported the national government to develop the Kenya Post-Harvest Management Strategy, which is going to be launched today. It's basically on food loss and waste production. So we also have flyers that we have prepared that show people how to recycle food at home, make it interesting. There's ugali nachos here as an ingredient. Do you know ugali nachos? Ugali nachos here, it's a way of how you can be able to recycle ugali, put cheese in it, tomato, onions, and avocado, and for sure, young children will love it. Yes, so it has various ingredients for recycling food at home. Yes.
Can I keep one?
Yeah, sure. Please have one.
Great, thank you.
And finally, we have a group here that comes from the refugee community in Kakuma. We support them to make a livelihood out of recycling. They normally take waste from abattoirs where they get bones and horns and this kind of bones to be able to make these candle stands. As you can see, it's very pretty. They also use this, they make wine glass from coconut shells, which they get in Kakuma. And also this, you can see this is a chains made out of bones. Yes, animal bones. They get from very fine markets as well to be able to sell their produce. We have office ornaments where you can be able to put your pens and all that, and we link them to market quality, ready for the market. Please make sure you promote them. We also have these that are made from bones as well. So we support them through acquiring machinery that is able to help them to be able to carve them out to this nature. So these are the products they have, which they sell to the market.
Okay. Habari zenu? Which one of you would like to speak? Okay.
Okay, fine. My name is and
other organizations who are also over here. We are just discussing the whole World Food Day at the exhibition side of this event at Kaimosi ATC. Definitely quite an interesting group of people I have over here. But first of all, we begin with the most important person over here. Who is the farmer? Baba, karibu sana kuzungumza na NTV. Labda tutakuuliza swali kama mkulima. Utaanza kwa majina na utuelezee mambo yamebadilika. Wewe ni mkulima wa aina gani na mambo yamebadilika? Labda changamoto gani unakumbana nazo kama mkulima?
Mimi ni kwa majina ni Nobert Tanui kutoka Kamoyo Capital Ward. Mkulima wa ng'ombe na mahindi. Changamoto ambayo niko naye ni chakula cha ng'ombe. Kwa mahindi siku hizi mahindi haivi mzuri kwa sababu ni ugonjwa ambaye ilikuja 2014 imepunguza mazao na mazao ambayo tunapata kwa eka moja siku hizi ni gunia 10 ya kilo 90.
Labda kupunguka kwa mazao ya mahindi umekufanya ufikirie kufanya ukulima wa aina tofauti?
Ndio nimefikiria nifanye ukulima wa ng'ombe wa maziwa.
Na labda ukulima wa maziwa inakupeleka aje?
Bado iko changamoto kwa ukulima wa maziwa, maana tunatumia mahindi kulisha hiyo ng'ombe na mazao ya mahindi imeenda chini sana.
Labda usaidizi upi unaweza utaka? Hii leo umekuja kwa hii exhibition. Labda unatafuta usaidizi wa aina gani? Labda unatafuta usaidizi upi?
Nimekuja kutafuta usaidizi wa chakula cha ng'ombe ambaye itafanya ng'ombe itoe faida mingi kuliko ya siku hizi.
Asante sana. Labda let me just speak to a group of other stakeholders in the entire industry. Again, we are back to Nandi County, considering that Nandi County is a key producer in the country in terms of tea planting, the tea product itself. So maybe you, as the Tea Board of Kenya, explain. You start with your name, then tell us what is your role in the entire agenda of tea planting, and also I'm so keen on understanding the benefits farmers are receiving from their whole activities in this event.
Thank you very much. My name is Kenya. We are very excited to join other agriculture stakeholders this year 2024 to celebrate the World Food Day, right to food for a better life and a better future. Tea contributes immensely to incomes of farmers in Nandi County and generally in the entire nation, and so is a greater contributor to food and nutrition security. We have farmers. We support more than 800,000 farmers, small scale across to middle and estate farmers. We also have people who have been employed by tea businesses, either on the farm, at the factories, or the tea trade enterprises. And the money they get from either the jobs or the employment, they are also able to sustain their livelihood in food. As the government regulator for tea, our mandate is threefold. We regulate, we develop, and we promote tea. We make sure that everyone engaged in tea farming is doing it in a sustainable way that will help them sustain the growing, but also get better produce, quality produce that will fetch higher prices. Okay. We also do training on quality and regulation on standards for tea, so that the tea that ends up in the market is accepted in terms of food and hygiene standards.
Okay, asante sana. So just maybe let me wind up, because there are key stakeholders in this event. You'll introduce yourself and tell us what is your role in this entire exhibition as an organization.
My name is Peter Kiprotich, Elgeyo Marakwet County. Exhibition today to explain to farmers the need of having good produce for the good health of the Kenyans, because the good health depends on the good food you consume. So for the betterment and the health of our Kenyan nation, we need to be secure in terms of food production. So we came to explain to farmers the need to produce quality food and food which assists the body to become healthy. And we came to explain to farmers the need of planting like pumpkin seeds, because pumpkins are good in terms of nutrition, in terms of family, and raising good children and healthy family and healthy nation depends on the production of quality feed. So with us, we normally encourage farmers to consume like the pumpkin seeds. Another thing is the hibiscus rossel, which assists the body to prevent something called the cancerous condition, because it is an antioxidant and it assists the body to build immunity and makes the body immune system goes high. So from Elgeyo Marakwet County, we tell farmers to produce quality food for their good health and their nutritional part of the healthy nation. Thank you.
Zainab, as you've heard it clearly, is that the fact that most of the farmers over here are doing diversification. Here right now, I was just talking to and also the pumpkins. So encouraging us to diversify, to have a wide variety of food. Maybe any other categories, because for me, in fact, as doing all this, I didn't expect to mention anything like pumpkin. I was so keen in other products like maize, other products like tea, because we're Nandi, I've seen bananas. So how extensive does this go away from just pumpkin and hibiscus?
In nutrition, we go for the food that the body immune ability of body to fight other conditions. So we need to diversify to live a life which is health, and going for those food which assist to build the body defense system is very important. And that is why whenever we come to our health, food becomes very, very important. And that is why whenever encourage farmers to diversify, so that they cannot be dependent on the old methods of farming only. We aspire to have variety of food which have high nutrition, so that the body defense mechanism can be enhanced. And that is why you find our lives nowadays, most of the conditions we are suffering nowadays are majorly caused by what we call lifestyle condition, as a result of what we normally consume on our day-to-day life. And that is why to inform farmers on the goodness of more variety of food and more nutritious food is very important.
Very important indeed to have to notify farmers on the importance of producing enough food for the country, just just to minimize on the food security, Zainab. That's the message over here as we're talking of pumpkin and other varieties like banana, as also tea. I'm really learning a lot. And so for that, Zainab, maybe I should just hand over back to you. Show us what good is that from the other end. Oh, Zainab, just a minute. I think we've just been joined by the Kentech from the Ministry of the Republic of Kenya, just one of the key shareholders in this event. Maybe sir, you can introduce yourself and tell us how big is this event of the World Food Day and what is the mark we are creating for today?
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Seth Onyango, the Chief Executive Officer for Kenya Sese and Trypanosomiasis Eradication Council. In short, Kentech. Kentech has a mandate of coordinating eradication of sese flies and trypanosomiasis in Kenya. We take note that this is an African Heads of States decision that was made in the year 2000 in Lome, Togo, so that the problem and the burden of sese and trypanosomiasis that it causes to the pastoral livelihoods in Africa is eradicated once and for all. In terms of the losses that the problem of sese flies brings in the Republic of Kenya, it is a loss of, it is estimated, the losses are estimated at 20 billion Kenya shillings per year. And this come in terms of abortions that take place in our cattle, in terms of loss of milk production, and generally loss of body weight. Getting back to your question, how big is this day for us and even for the pastoral communities of Kenya? It is a day, if you draw from the theme of the World Food Day today, right to food and a better future. Kentech is one of those food security state corporations that are within the Ministry of Agriculture, particularly hosted within the State Department for Livestock. We contribute to this because, as you are all aware, agriculture is a priority in this government, the Kenya Kwanza administration, whereby 3 value chains have been prioritized. The first one being dairy, second being beef, and the third one being leather. So if I take it to dairy and beef, our contribution, we suppress the disease. The animals that come out of it, we now get bigger animals that can put more money into the pockets of our farmers.
Thank you so much, sir. Asante sana. So that is Zainab. You've heard it all from the Kentech and the value addition and the importance of keeping our livestock and other animals very healthy, just to put more money in the pockets of our farmers, just right from the government. For now, Zainab, maybe you can help me explore the other side of the exhibition.
Well, if you're a farmer, the World Food Day or any farmer field day is something you need to attend because of the wealth of knowledge that you learn. I'm not a farmer myself, but I'm learning a lot. And all the activity you see around me, these are all farmers and school children moving from 10 to 10, from exhibition to exhibition, seeking to acquire knowledge, seeking to buy a seed or two, because some of the displays include information where you can purchase a seed if you've seen something and you like it. So I'm now joined by a lady who's going to tell us who she is and what she does. Hi.
Hello.
Tell me your name and what you do.
My name is Helen Wangoi. I'm the country manager for Solidaridad East and Central Africa for Kenya.
So tell me about your role in food security at Solidaridad.
Yeah, we are well aligned in the theme for this year, especially because it is focusing on rights to food, and we support farmers especially to increase their production by training them on good agricultural practices like use of vermicomposting that ensures that the soil health is well improved. This improved productivity as well and reduces the soil pH. We also support the farmers in working with implementing and planting varieties that are resistant to climate changes, such as also in coffee. We encourage the farmers to use Batian as well as Roiro 11 varieties.
You mentioned vermicomposting. Is that the display over there?
Yes.
Can you tell me, we can walk to it as you tell me a little bit about it?
Thank you. So this is the vermicomposting. We use vermi worms to ensure that we come up with this compost that ensures that it increases the moisture of the soil, as well as increases the productivity of the value chains that we work with the farmers. We train the farmers to produce this, as well as the vermicompost juice that we also apply to the farm. Yeah.
So how do you apply the vermicompost?
So it is applied on the soil, of course, around the plants where you have planted the food crops and vegetables.
Do these worms also work when there's chemicals in that farm? For example, you've sprayed a herbicide, you've sprayed a pesticide, you've applied fertilizer. Do they still work?
So when you apply herbicides, it will not work. So we encourage the farmers to go organic, to ensure that we do not apply herbicides on the soil, and so that we have the vermicomposting worms survive as well.
So this works particularly with organic farming. Yes. And these worms, these are the earthworms?
Yes, these are the vermi worms, the red ones there.
So what is, for you to be adding worms into the soil means there's a problem, because these worms are supposed to be in the soil naturally. What are the things that are driving this problem to make these worms absent from the soils?
Yes, so the use of herbicides especially, and some of the fertilizers that we are applying on the soil will make sure that the worms do not survive. So that's why we are introducing the organic way of farming. And the way we introduce this training to the farmers is we use the TOT model, trainer of trainers model. He's one of our trainers on the ground as well. And we also have our boots and brains on the ground. These are our agronomists who we train so well to ensure that even as they interact with the farmers, they are well aligned with what is the issues and how they can help the farmers.
So do you think organic farming can feed the world?
Yes, it can feed the world for sure, because it ensures that there is increased production across the various agricultural value chains, be it vegetables, be it maize especially also, and also coffee. And you know what we do with the farmers also is to train them on value addition for their production. For example, we have coffee there. We work with the farmers, especially women and youth, to ensure there is value addition for our products like coffee. We also help the farmers to access markets, and this helps them to ensure they increase their sales, and they can also scale their production as well.
You mentioned one of your core mandates is to increase productivity, and there's so many partners, so many organizations working towards this same goal, yet the farmers' productivity problem.
Okay, so what I would say we can improve on, even on the organizations that we work with the farmers, is to ensure we have the right models on the ground to interact also with the government, the county governments, because they also have extension officers who can guide you through where you need to work with the farmers, the right, and agronomists as well, the ones we have, the right commodities or products or the value chains that you should focus on depending on the area and also the region that you are implementing in. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And now the thing about these exhibitions is that there's been a lot of focus on soil health, and one of the reasons for that is that research has shown that Kenya's soils are very unhealthy and acidic. More than 50% of the soils in the country are acidic, and this is mostly because of unsustainable farming practices. Hence the reason this time around World Food Day focuses on ways to improve agricultural productivity sustainably while paying attention to the soil health. Now we're going to speak to somebody else here. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
What is your name and what do you do?
I'm Alphonse Bolo. I work for Cereal Growers Association, supporting Farm to Market Alliance project that is being supported by World Food Program. So what we have here today, looking at the theme of the day, a lot of innovations that we do to support smallholder farmers within the counties that we implement. For today, majorly what we are trying to do is to showcase of, if you can see, what we have is on food nutrition.
I'd actually like to start here. I see it says groundnut picker. This means unaipeleka kwa shamba wakati unataka kuvuna njugu na unaakisha machine.
Yes, what we do majorly to ease the work, because majorly our main focus is to increase productivity from smallholder farmers. But then we have such kind of innovations to help farmers. Once you produce for markets, the major thing you need to do is how effective and convenient are you able to support farmers to do harvest. So you harvest groundnuts. This is the picker for the groundnuts. You only pull the groundnuts, you push it in, it will be able to not to shell, but to remove it.
Separates the
separation. So that is what this does. This is the first tank that you need to have. So from this machine, once you've done the separation, then now you do the shelling, where we have the groundnut sheller. So it makes the work of the farmers a little bit easier when you are talking about the shelling. So the work of the farmers, we've been easing, and they're able to reach out demand. What this thing also does is on handling the post-harvest management. We have reduced the cracks of the groundnuts. We've reduced also the time frame that we need to, from the shamba, picking up, shelling, then you store for the market. So that is what we do. It's quite good when you have this for the smallholder farmers with affordable prices that we give to farmers.
So you've touched a little bit on the question I was going to ask you next, because if you talk to smallholder farmers, they'll tell you, si ati hawataki technology, ni juu hawezi afford. Na wakati mwingi mtu akikuja na hiyo innovation, amekuja na technology, bei ya kwanza nayo inakuwa mkulima mdogo mwenye labda kuna shamba nusu eka hawezi afford. So vitu kama financing mnasaidia aje wakulima?
Sana sana as Farm to Market Alliance being supported by World Food Program, what we do, we link farmers to financial institutions. And once we link the farmers with financial institutions, we ensure that the farmers are able to access the finance for the production. That's the first thing that we do. And looking at it, because we do end to end, we start from productivity, but the first thing we look at is the market. What is the market demand? So once we create the market demand, it is easier for us to produce what market needs. But on the finance, we link the farmers to the market. We're also using a model of VSLA, where farmers are grouped. Then from there, they're doing what is called table banking. They get the finances. At the moment, we are working closely with the two number of financial institutions. We work with NCA Bank, we work with Equity Bank, we work with more of the community-based organized for smallholder farmers. What they're able to afford, where they're able to keep their money, and at the same time do their shares. So that is what we do majorly as Farm to Market Alliance under World Food Program.
Yes. Unfortunately, I have to cross over to the main event because the main event has started.
As you do that, World Food Program has a number of projects that they support with other organizations, other institutions. We call them the implementing partners. So Farm to Market Alliance is being implemented by Cereal Growers Association, and we have another one that's being supported by AMPATH, AMPATH being supported by World Food Program. Then we have World Food Program also showcasing nutrition for the community. That's what supports the community on nutrition. So that is what we do in this tent as World Food Program team. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.